Oh, come on. Come on, you piece of junk. Come on, start. Not again. Oh, let's see if the radio still works. Yeah, well. Yeah, there's... Oh, that show Motor Mouse is on.
And good morning and welcome to your Motor Mouth Show, your SLO County car talk show featuring Mr. Stop and Mr. Go. This is Jeff Spevack from Continental Motorworks, known as Mr. Go for the next hour. Sitting next to me, Mr. Stop, Per Matheson. Good morning, Matt.
Yeah, good morning, Jeff.
How are you today?
I'm fine. Yes, ready?
Yeah, so we're talking mechanics. We're Motor Mouths, and we have a live call-in car talk show here for the next hour. And the way that works is we invite you to call us. Phone lines are open at 805-543-8830. That's 543-8830. And if you're the first caller, you're going to win a prize. So we'd love to have calls early in the show because we tend to not be able to, like last week, somebody called with 1 minute left and we couldn't finish our conversation. So call us early, 543-8830. We were talking before the show about the traffic jams going through San Luis Obispo, especially on 101 and 227, headed out of town. So we're kind of morphing into a pet peeve show. So let's just roll with it. So if those of you out there that want to talk about this or give us your pet peeves or talk about traffic or whatever you want to talk about your car, if you have a car question or you have a warning light on or a funny noise or a relationship issue relating to your car, we'll put you on the Motor Mouth couch. So call us at 543-8830.
I can kick off the pet peeve show.
Okay.
Would that be
sure.
Okay?
Let her rip.
Okay. Well, on one of my days off this week, Thursday, I had to go down to Oxnard. I came back from Oxnard on Thursday night, and I'm there at Briscoe Road in Arroyo Grande. I live in Arroyo Grande. And there's a guy with his flasher on in the inside lane, and there's a guy in front of me at Briscoe Road. Mm-hmm. Well, rather than make the guy just not be able to get off the freeway, or had the flasher on, or the guy speed up or drop behind me or something like that, the car that was in front of me actually started to stop on the freeway to let the guy over.
Oh.
And here I am behind this other car.
You got to have sense.
And it was like, so if it is not the responsibility of...
Yeah, it's his job to get over.
It's his job to get over.
He's got to weave into traffic.
He's got to weave over, or he has to go to the next off-ramp.
Right.
And get off, which is not that far away.
Right.
Are you talking about him driving in the left lane?
He was on the inside. He was in the inside lane and wanting to get off at Briscoe Road when he had missed his opportunity, really, to get off at Briscoe Road.
Yeah. I mean, you can slow down a little bit to let him in, but you shouldn't be doing anything unsafe.
The guy almost stopped.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's terrible. You're kind of asking for it.
Yeah. So it's like, I understand that he's trying to be respectful and let the guy over.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, here I am behind him and other traffic's behind him. So the pet peeve is basically, it is not your responsibility to make sure the guy can get over when you have traffic behind you.
Yeah, there's a difference between courtesy and stupidity.
Yeah. So,
I see things like that. For example, the Avila Beach turnoff.
Yeah.
You're going down the road, and here comes a fast car in a fast lane, and he's the one that's going to take off on
go across 3 lanes.
Yeah, go across, or 2 lanes, and take off on Avila Beach Road.
Yeah.
And I don't know, either that's the guy that work at the plants, PG&E plant, or they got to go fishing. I don't know. Why so much of a hurry?
They're in a big hurry, and they're way more important than we are.
Anyway, so the pet peeve show.
Yeah.
805-543-8830.
Yeah, give us a call, whatever you'd like to talk about. So we were talking, I was just trying to figure out, I mean, we've lived here a long time. I've lived here since 1974. Matt's lived here since
58.
Yeah, so
59.
There you go. So we've seen quite a increase in traffic, especially rush hour. I know a lot of people work in San Luis Obispo. I know they say that on any given day there's more than 100,000 people in San Luis Obispo, especially on weekdays. So a lot of people do come in and out. But the stop, you go 101 south at, anytime after 4:30 now. and you're going to stop up at the Shell Beach Straits, and you're going to stop on 227, and it's bad. And so so my question is, or our question is, I think it's a complicated issue, but I think it's everything. I think there's just more through traffic on 101.
It's absolutely
and
more
then
through
I think
traffic.
there's
yes.
a lot more South County population and Santa Maria population that maybe work in San Luis Obispo or North County or whatever, but they're coming through at that time. But what do all you think out there? I mean, what is the real reason? I'm not asking what it's going to take to fix it. I know, we have to build bigger lanes or we have to have public transportation, but I'm wondering, why is there so much traffic?
Yeah. Well, actually, sometimes when I drive home, that backup, and I didn't think about this before the show, but that backup can sometimes start by KSBY TV there.
Yeah, sure. I mean, sometimes it's backed all the way through town.
Mm-hmm. So,
well, that on-ramp, for example, going
especially
south.
the last weekend of the summer,
On that on-ramp going on the freeway, that's a very long, nice on-ramp, and you can speed up, and you can get on the road at the speed limit. And people don't speed up. They would have 50 miles an hour and enter the freeway at 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I mean, right there, that happens.
Yeah. So, you have to come, when you're coming on the freeway, it's your job to kind of mesh into traffic and assume the speed of traffic.
Right.
And you're not relying on other people to slow down or speed up for you. And so that's an important thing. And not everybody gets that. Now, I take, when I get on the freeway a lot, I get on California, which is not a good thing to do.
No, that is a bad place.
Going south.
Yeah.
And you don't have there's no way to speed up. You go around that turn.
Yeah, right.
And then, it's hard to get up to even 50.
Yes, I know.
People are coming by at 75.
Yeah, and they're going to get off at Broad Street.
So I got on yesterday, and I almost got in this big semi, just right there. I had to stop. I had to stop and then kind of move over into the white lane and then kind of mesh in later. But I was stopped, and then I had to get into traffic. It was nasty. I'm going to stop getting on there.
Yeah,
I think it's just regularly, I think it's I think your odds are against you if you get on there a lot.
Well, I think
especially if you hit rush hour.
Well, and part of the problem that you might be facing too up in that area, the downtown area basically, is that you've got all these little really quick on and off ramp things, especially coming south.
Well, somebody got killed at that. At that on ramp one. A couple of years ago.
Yeah. So you've got Broad Street in there, and maybe we really need to rethink whether or not those off ramps and on ramps need to be there in the first place.
Yeah. It's a rough one.
I think that
it's not safe.
I think that the road was built when the speed limit was 55.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
That makes a
And now what's the speed limit? 85?
No, I don't know. Depends on the flow of the traffic.
Yeah.
But you've got people getting on there, on and off there, especially at Broad Street, where it's a really short on and off ramp, and then you have a really narrow bridge there too.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not safe.
And there's lots of people getting off and on, and getting off of Madonna, going over to Costco. A lot of people speeding through. So it's tough. Yeah. So beware of that. Beware getting on California going south. Especially at rush hour when people are going really fast. That's a rough one. I get on there all the time. I'm used to it, but I couldn't get on. It was bad.
Well, but I want to bring up something else. I'm talking about Los Osos Valley Road.
Yeah.
People coming in from Los Osos in the morning.
Yeah.
It may be a little bit foggy outside. It might be a little misty outside. And they don't have their headlights on.
Yeah.
So it's a gray car. This happened the other day. I'm sitting there and waiting for traffic coming in. I don't see no more traffic. All the cars going by. I get out, and then I look back at the mirror, and here's a gray car behind me. Yeah. New car with no headlights on.
Yeah.
And the gray car was mixing in with the
we don't even know where he came from.
No.
Yeah.
So, the thing is, people gonna have to think about, of course, this says, this guy obstructed my driving and so forth. It's his fault. But, would they like to have their car wrecked?
Yeah. Yeah, you should, definitely have your headlights on. Some roads like San Marcos Pass or 46.
Any 2-lane road.
46.
Or even
they
4-lane
have
road.
big signs saying turn your headlights on.
Oh, yeah.
Headlights required, which is great. But, you got to kind of think about that when you're driving. I just think people need more of I think it'd be good to have a refresher course every 5 years. I think
DMV can have that.
I think that people should take a refresher course, a driver's course. I just think we'd have more safe drivers, and people would learn, all the new laws and better techniques of driving, and how to how to drive along with bicycles, and how to turn right, and using your turn signals, and using your headlights, and how to merge into traffic. I mean, all of these things that we're talking about. I think that driving it should be taken more seriously.
In other countries they are. Now in Norway, you have to get your driver's license, regular driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
Then you take a special test for driving at night.
Yeah, and
you take a special test for driving in snow.
Mm. But then, do you have to retest? Do they have
that? I don't know.
Yeah,
but I know that. By taking a driver's license test, is very expensive. Or not to take the test, but get a driver's license. It's
expensive.
It's very expensive.
Through a lot.
Yeah.
And
you have to take a person to take you out and show you how to drive.
Yeah.
You can't have your brother do it.
Hey, we seem to have a dead phone line here. Do the phone lines work?
Yeah, I need some work.
It's interesting.
Give us a call. We are the Motor Mouse. Phone lines are open at 805-543.
You can't hear it. I'm saying
we do have a dial tone? Okay.
Yeah, we got a dial tone.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So 805-543-8830. We'd love to hear from you. That's 543-8830. First caller will win a premium at Continental Motorworks, and we'd love to talk to you. I mean, Matt and I and Jim, we can talk for an hour, and I think we're semi-interesting, but this show is way better when you call us. So.
Let's go to a break. That usually helps.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do the first break.
Motor Mouse will be back, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
And I got a classic commercial here. We love this one. It's a toy car, but I had this set when I was growing up, the Kenner Smash Up Derby set.
I heard about that.
He's a demolition demon in a beat-up Chevrolet. It ain't worth $1, so he wrecks it every day. Now here is Kenner's SSP Smash Up Derby set, and you can hoot and holler 'cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Crash, bang, crack 'em up, put 'em back again. Crash, bang, smash 'em up, it's smash up time, my friend. Kenner's SSP Smash Up Derby set comes with everything you see right here.
Okay, hey, we're back, I believe, and we got some background music that we're trying to figure out. There we go. Hey, is Roberta on the line?
I think it's just because Roberta came on the line.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it is.
And she had her telephone on.
I had no idea why.
There was some background.
Everything was shut down. So I'm sorry.
No, it was Roberta.
But at least it was Dean Martin, right?
That's right.
Yeah, but see, that was Roberta having her radio on another station.
Okay.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah. All right.
Somebody else was calling during our little point of confusion there. So give us a call back at 543-8830.
They're probably to tell me that there's Dean Martin going over there.
Hi, Roberta.
Hey, how you doing?
We're good. How are you?
I'm okay. I can't complain.
What's happening in your neck of the woods?
Oh, let me see. It's kind of nice and cool. I like it.
That's right. I agree.
Anyway, you want to know why there was so much traffic and they're slowing down on the freeway?
Yeah, what's your theory, Roberta?
It's because there's more people.
Oh, more people.
More people.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, you must be growing here.
It's more people.
I've been here since 81, and I've seen it built up, and I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Just everybody keeps coming. Well, let them stay wherever they are.
But, I also think, you just drive on 101 almost any time, and it's busy.
Yes.
It's just 101. I mean, all through the state.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you get out to your, when you're out there and you get a little bit less traffic, but I just think there's a lot of people driving up and down our state all the time.
Well,
then you've got that through traffic, and then you've got local traffic, and then you've got more trucks. I don't know. Are there more trucks because the trains don't run as much? And
I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff going on. More people, Roberta says.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Right.
Yeah.
So the thing is, What is the least expensive, to build new road or to build a fast transportation system by rail?
Well, you have to look at the long-term costs and the costs on
I
the
don't know. I
environment,
think
et
we
cetera.
need some kind of train or
Yes.
trolleys like they used to have. Even in LA,
Right.
they used to have those electric trolleys, and it would take people everywhere.
That's
Yes.
right.
We need something.
We do.
And now they're putting those back in Los Angeles,
They
too.
are. Yeah, actually,
Isn't
Los
that
Angeles
crazy?
has more public transportation now. They've redone it, which is great.
Well, they
That's
need for
good.
coast Santa Maria to Paso Robles.
What are you
That's
driving
right.
these days, Roberta?
Let's see. My Nissan Versa.
You still have the
which
Versa.
is like new, and then my SUV GMC Yukon.
Oh, okay, you got a Yukon.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that'll pull whatever.
So you got your two cars. You got your little economy car, and then you've
Yeah.
got your I can do anything car.
That's right.
I can do anything.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
right,
Says the
exactly.
Yukon.
Get out of my
Oh,
way.
okay.
No.
That's right. You got any
Yeah,
other?
well,
You got any pet peeves for us today, Roberta?
Just that there's too many people.
I agree. I will second that.
Well,
Yeah, and then
but-
people just need to be aware when they drive.
Yeah.
You know, they're like out in left field.
Yeah.
If they would just pay attention to what they're doing, like you say, turn off the phones, put it away. But they don't, you know. I mean, if they would pay attention to what they're doing, there'd be less accidents, less almost accidents, but people are distracted.
Yeah,
They're
I
distracted.
agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not in left field. I used to play left field. Left field's all right. I think they're in
Okay,
right.
left
They're in
field's
right
okay.
field.
Are you sure they're in the field?
I think they're out in right field.
I think they're on the road. If they were in the field, they wouldn't have any problem.
Yeah, maybe they should get back out in the
Yeah,
field.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, it was good talking to you
Thank you,
guys.
Roberta.
Guys always have a lot of knowledge, and I learn a lot of things when I listen to you.
Well, thanks for being a part of the show. We appreciate it very
Yeah,
much.
so even when I'm not calling in, I'm listening.
Okay,
Thanks, Roberta.
we like that.
You have
All
a
right,
great. You
bye-bye.
have a great one. Thank
Bye.
you. Okay, we got a call from Roberta. We'd love to hear from you. We're the Motor Mouse, Matt and Jeff, and our phone lines are open at 805-543-8830. We're talking about pet peeves. We're talking about traffic. We're talking about too many people. We're talking about anything you want to talk about your car. If you're having a problem or a warning sign or a warning light or a symptom or something you're trying to fix or relationship issue relating to your car, we'd love to talk to you. 543-8830. So, go ahead.
The school starts in
That's right.
Santa Maria
On Monday.
on Monday. So there's going to be more traffic due to that.
Yeah.
Cresta College has already started.
Yeah.
I can tell the difference because there's some new cars now going up and down Perfumo Canyon, and there's 20 miles an hour speed signs. Of course, they turn into 40 or 45 or 50
Yeah.
when they go through those corners.
Yeah.
So, there's a big difference.
Beware, it's back
And
to
now
school.
you're going to be, it's going to be more traffic,
Yeah.
and it's going to be young people driving.
So
and
remember
hot cars.
Remember crosswalks and
Oh,
school
yeah.
kids and, slow down and, I still think the best safety recommendation I can give anybody is leave early.
Yep.
Leave early.
Right. Plenty of time.
Drive the speed limit and just enjoy the ride. And then you have time to stop. You're not in a rush. You can stop if somebody's in a crosswalk, somebody's, another car's trying to get in. You just have the time to just be a courteous, good driver.
I noticed something too the other day too that was a glaring issue, and people really, really got to pay attention to this.
Yeah.
But I was down there in Oxnard the other day, and at the intersection of Rice and Fifth, there's also railroad tracks.
That's a busy. Rice is busy.
And there's also railroad tracks there.
Yeah.
And there's 3 lanes that head south, and on all 3 lanes, there was cars stopped on the tracks. And I'm like,
Not smart.
you are not smart. If that train comes through,
Yeah.
you will lose.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, what are you people thinking? Why are you in
They're not.
you're not.
Yeah,
You're
they're
not.
not
Why are you
thinking.
in such a hurry? There's
Not
a
taking
car.
driving seriously. It's like it's just like something you do as a second thought. You jump in your car,
Yeah.
but you're more attached to your cell phone or what you're going to or what you're thinking about. And really, I mean, the whole point is to be in your car and enjoy the ride and spend 100% of your attention on it and be safe. And it's more fun that way anyhow.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to lose against a train.
So driving needs to be taken more seriously and more attention and all of that, all the things we're stressing. Sometimes feel like we're preaching to the choir, but that's all right. We'll keep talking about it. Hey, we're the Motor Mouse. We're Matt and Jeff. Phone lines are open at 543-8830. We're talking a little bit about pet peeves and things on the road. And, mine are the same that they've always been. Of course, people using turn signals. I just think, it's not enforced. My pet peeve is that the traffic laws are, for the most part, just not being enforced, whether it be speeding, turn signals, tailgating, aggressive driving, drunk driving. I mean, I know people get arrested and stuff like that, but I don't very rarely see people getting stopped for speeding and things like that. And I think that if there was a campaign, kind of like we talked about with seatbelts, now that has been enforced really well. And if there was a public service campaign on it, everybody knows to wear their seatbelt, and it worked. That worked.
Yeah, but if you hear about somebody has it in a collision and will run off the road, and there's a casualty, they didn't wear the seatbelts.
Yeah, but there's statistically speaking,
all right.
Like over 90% of the people wear their seatbelts.
Absolutely.
Whereas it used to be 50, not even 50. So I mean, yes, it does happen, and it's a deadly thing. Yeah. So let's talk to Dennis from Los Osos. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, I love your show. First-time caller, but I've listened forever.
Thank you for calling.
Are you talking about pet peeves today only, or
no? Anything you want to talk about relating to cars or basic Eastern philosophy?
I've lived in Los Osos here since 1978. My pet peeve is the people don't pay attention.
Yeah.
They are oblivious when they're driving. It is amazing. Yeah. I saw a guy reading a book and eating. It's just amazing.
Yeah, multitasking, right?
Indeed. But I got a question about a 96 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Mm-hmm.
We did the CVC joint on the passenger side a few months ago. Worked great. Changed the one on the driver's side the other day, and the car won't drive right. It does this. It's together again. The CVC joints appear to be working, but when you drive 20-25, you hear this subtle clicking, a little whirring. When you hit the brakes, it starts vibrating, and if you go anything over 35 or 40, it feels like you're running on the highway, those slots. The whole thing vibrates the front end. It's a real serious vibration.
Okay. Is that, what side of the car did you replace the last?
What did I replace?
What side? Left or right?
The left side, the driver's side.
Okay. What did you do with it? Did you put a new shaft in with new joints?
Yeah, you put the new joints in, and we have guys use a torque wrench on it, and it's a four-wheel drive all the way around.
The question is, you could put new joints in, or did you put a new...
Did you put in a whole axle?
Whole new axle?
No, not the whole new axle. We just got the part we got from the auto shop. It was about a foot and a half long. Okay,
so that was the outer CV joint. What about the inner?
Don't know.
Okay. Usually when you have a vibration, it's because the inner joint is the one that's giving you trouble.
Did you have this noise before you did this?
No.
Okay.
It did the CVC joint clacks. The gear was destroyed on the right side one. The left side one, the boot was all ripped up. And those noises went away. And this thing, it gets louder when you tap the brakes. Push the brakes, it kind of boom, 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 boom. And then you hit 30, it really vibrates. And then you go 40, and the vibration lets down a little bit, but it's still there. You feel it right through the wheel, through the whole front end.
Did you do this yourself?
My friends did it.
Okay, but you didn't. It wasn't in a shop. It was in somebody's yard or something.
Yeah, and I think the shop just tightened a torque bolt, something on the left side.
So you're gonna have to have somebody get. I mean, this could be a dangerous situation. Number one.
We don't want that.
So get it up in the air, and get it up. Make sure they're using jack stands. So make sure whoever's working on it is doing this professionally. Do they have a lift?
No, we've been blocking it.
Okay, so you should be using jack stands. Number one, just make sure you're safe.
Oh, we do.
Okay, and then just look at everything. Get a nice bright light in there, and you can probably even run the car on it. Maybe you might just find it just by looking at it, but you're looking for play in the wheel, you're looking for play in the shaft, you should be able to move that shaft back in and out. You can probably re-simulate what's going on there. But sometimes you don't get the splines in properly.
Right.
Or sometimes the splines get damaged, or, it's a little more difficult with a four-wheel drive vehicle.
Right.
And so you've got more things going on there, or something else could have gotten affected there. And make sure you put in the right part.
Yeah.
I mean, you put in a reman unit, right?
You bet.
Okay. That you got at a parts store. Mm-hmm. Okay. So number one, get it back up in the air. Look at everything with a bright light. You may find that something is either tweaked a little. If you don't see anything obvious, you're going to probably just have to take it back out again and look at everything very closely. Compare it to the old part, because sometimes we find that you don't get the right part. It's just slightly longer. I mean, even just, millimeters longer, or not even. I mean, it could be if you did everything properly, it could even be a faulty part or the wrong part. Mm-hmm. But don't assume that first. Look at everything.
Not getting the shaft put back into the transmission far enough could set up a vibration.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a snap ring there that holds it in. And if you didn't get that snap ring to snap, then that could give you the problem. Now, I have been into cases with replacing drive axles on cars, and if you buy a rebuilt unit, they probably rebuild these units to fit more than one vehicle.
Yeah.
So the thing is that
sometimes the fit is not great.
So they give it the same part number that hits about 5 or 6 different cars, but they are different. And that will give you a vibration.
So if you can't find anything else, make sure you match up that part to the part you replaced. And if it's slightly different, you may have to get a different unit or a different manufacturer, or a new unit versus a reman. I'm not sure. But,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's been very helpful, guys. Thanks. And keep up the good work. I love you guys.
Thank you very much. Make sure you don't have a safety problem there before you drive it again, though.
Yeah, I've only been driving it a quarter mile.
All right. All right, Dennis. Hey, good luck with that. Thank you very much for calling, and let us know what happened.
Great. Okay, have a good weekend.
You too, Dennis. Thanks for calling.
Okay.
All right, Dennis from Los Osos, Roberta from Grover, both giving us a call and talking to us about car stuff, because we're car stuff guys. We're the Motor Mouse, Matt and Jeff. We're talking to you today from plush KVEC studios here in San Luis Obispo, California, and the phone lines are open at 805-543-8830. Love to hear from you about anything you want to talk about. We're talking a little bit about pet peeves today and traffic, but if you have a car question, warning light on, funny noise, working on something kind of like Dennis and having a few problems with it, love to talk you through it. So give us a call.
I think on drive shafts, if you work on your own car and you're going to do something about the CV joints, today you can buy a drive axle, a complete axle.
Yeah.
They come out of China, but they've been good. I've seen really good ones.
Yeah, they're brand new.
Yeah. And you should compare the price. If you are really stressed for money, then of course I can see that you put a rebuilt one on. But rebuilt, in my opinion, is not that good, especially on brakes. If you have a master cylinder.
No, don't do it.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. No, it can work with an axle.
Yeah.
But anything hydraulic, not a good idea.
Yeah, like a power steering pump.
Yeah.
You buy the pump without the reservoir. And so you figure out, okay, I'll just take the old reservoir off and put it on a new pump.
Yeah.
You're going to have a leak.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot there, especially if you're doing it at home and you're not a professional. So lots of, and that front axle on that Jeep. So now a lot of times you get a CV axle and you got CV joints on both sides, but that one I think only has one CV joint and then one spline shaft, or does it have two CV joints on it?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It might have a slip joint. I mean, not.
So that one might be a little trickier than your average one.
Well, we found that if you had this, what they call a slip joint, it has 3 trunnions in it.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's move in and out as the front wheel goes up and down. And we found out on those that if that will bind, then you get a vibration, especially 30 miles an hour through the steering wheel. and or if you take and don't get it into the transmission far enough,
Right.
then it will also give you a
It's
vibration.
trickier on a four-wheel drive vehicle.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on there.
Right.
It's not just an R&R. So, R&R is an old term in automotive, remove and replace.
Yeah.
R&R. But, it's not always that easy. There's a lot of details. So once again, looking at everything with a really bright light and making sure, like when they took that axle out, is there something else that was broken in there or something else that, wasn't exactly right? Or when like Matt said, there may be a snap ring that's got to be placed just right on that.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't get positioned properly, that axle's not in there properly. That makes that a really difficult axle
It
replacement.
might also leak oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well-
and that happens a lot too when you're replacing an axle, by the way. You take an axle out of a transmission and you're taking it out of the output shaft of the transmission, which now has a seal right there. And, if you don't replace that seal, all of a sudden you may have a transmission leak that you didn't have before.
Yeah. Right.
Very common.
Well, and plus the thing about the rebuilt thing too is what is the real difference in the cost between a new
These
and a
days, not
rebuilt?
much. Actually, sometimes the new one's cheaper than the rebuild.
Right, and the thing about
Yeah.
it is, if you put in a rebuilt and it doesn't work, guess what? You're going to be paying the labor again to put in a new one.
Now,
later
sometimes
on,
you
right?
don't have an option.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes
right.
you
I
can
agree with
only
you.
get a
Yes, yeah.
remanufactured unit, and a lot of times, like take an example, an alternator is a good example. A lot of times you can't get a new alternator, or the new alternator that you're getting is made in China. A really good example is a Japanese car alternator, and we would put in Nippon Denso remanufactured, which was what the dealer was using. But people said, I don't want a remanufactured, I want a new one. But the new ones were from China, and they were inferior to the remanufactured
Yeah,
ones
right.
that were remanufactured in Japan,
Yeah.
which were like new. So in some cases, like that case that I just talked about, the remanufactured is actually a better product than the new one and more reliable. So you do have to be careful. You got to rely on your professional to give you that advice, or your parts store, and say, hey, which one should I get? Which one's better? And if they know what they're talking about, they can give you good advice. And it's a good question to ask. And it's tricky sometimes. So, hey, we're the Motor Mouse. We're Matt and Jeff. Phone lines are open at 805-543-8830. Let's talk to Don from AG. Hi, Don. Good morning.
Hey, pet peeves, where do you begin?
Well, there's lots of places to begin. Tell us where you would.
Well, tailgating's one of the worst, but the other one...
Oh,
that
yeah. Oh,
the,
boy.
The other one that gets me is that people just do not know the rules of the road.
Yep.
One example is, come up to an intersection, I'm going to make a left turn, the other person gets there before me, and they want to wait and wave me through.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the right of way.
Mm.
And that always, you wait, and they wait, and who decides to go first,
Yeah.
and it just makes a
Yeah.
mess out of things.
There's a certain learned, etiquette or driving, etiquette that you learn, and you just do it instinctively when you've driven a long time. So
Yeah,
you
but
get to
people are not learning it.
Exactly.
The new people on the block are not learning.
Yeah, and
One of them is for police with their sirens.
Mhm.
You're supposed to yield. That doesn't mean you pull over and stop.
Mhm. Well, I mean, if you can pull over, that's what they want you to do.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but you're supposed to pull over and yield. You don't
Yeah.
have to pull over and stop. Some
Right.
people end up stopping in the lane.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're not supposed to stop in the lane. Supposed
So
to
it just
pull over. Yeah. One of the things I really warn people about, you said, when somebody waves you through, I'd be really careful about people. If you're a pedestrian, or if you're a bicyclist, or if you're a driver, just because somebody waves you, you still have to make sure it's safe to go. Because somebody can wave you and then the person next to them doesn't see you. And so you're going out of queue.
That's what I'm talking about, by
Yeah.
not knowing what the rules are,
Right.
and then doing this, I'm going to be the courteous one and wave them on through. Like
Yeah.
you were talking earlier, the guy almost stopping on the freeway to let somebody on the on-ramp.
Yeah.
The person coming on has the responsibility
Yeah.
of speeding up or slowing down to match the traffic to pull into the blank space.
I think you're right. I think people, I'd like to see a re-education program of drivers. I'd like to see people have to maybe take a retest every 5 years, or more public service campaigns on specific things on the road like this. They do the buckle up for safety thing, which is great. So they could do like pick out 3, tailgating, how to get on the freeway, and things like that, or what to do at a 4-way stop, and do some public education on that. And I think it would be helpful. I see it on Channel 12. There's a guy that's doing pedestrian safety. Have you seen that?
I love those commercials.
Yeah.
They're great.
And
They're
he's
really
talking
great.
about, be careful when you walk off the curb. Look both ways, because people were killed at this intersection.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Well, I really like the one where they do at night, where they have the 2 guys crossing.
Yeah, wear bright clothes.
Yeah, wearing dark clothes.
You're invisible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing in the canyon, for example. They had in sunlight during the day, underneath the big oak trees, there's shade.
Yeah.
And if they got dark clothes on and you got bright light on the other side, you can't see them.
Yeah, especially if the sun's shining in your eyes.
And then locally in Arroyo Grande, they put in some decorative stuff down the middle to put in curbing and put in some palm trees.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody did not think that through. There's the intersection at Grand and Oak Park, and they put some palm trees over by the turn section. Well, the big trucks have a problem now because that becomes an obstruction for them making their wide turn.
Yeah.
And then up on Grand and Halcyon, they put in the dividers in the middle, and the left turn lane's not long enough so the traffic backs up and you can't get in the left turn lane, and it's open, and the light turns arrow for the left turn, and you can't get in there because the traffic's all backed up. And before, without the divider, you could cheat a little bit, but you could get into that double-lined area to get over to get in the left turn lane to make the left turn at the light. So now you got to wait a whole light cycle to get in the left turn lane, because everybody will either get in the center lane or the right lane, and there'll be 6 cars in one lane and 1 car or no car in the other lane, and they're all going straight.
It just goes to show you, driving is complicated. There's a lot of, if you're at turning left, without a stop sign or a light, in a lot of traffic, there's a lot of things you got to be looking at. I mean, you're probably looking at 5, 6, 7 different things. You're looking at the people behind you. You're looking to see if there's any pedestrians, any bike riders, if somebody's coming, how fast they're coming, and if somebody else is coming from the sideway. I mean, you got to be alert. You got to be paying attention.
You better believe it.
I mean, it's complicated. Yeah. There was that movie, I don't remember what the name of it was, but he said to his son, he was teaching his son how to drive, and he was turning left in L.A., and he said, this is probably the hardest thing you're ever going to learn in your life, is how to turn left in L.A.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Especially downtown.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason.
Anything else done?
Well,
no, good show.
Yeah. Thank you.
And we appreciate your
much.
comments. Thank you for calling very much. Hey, we're going to go to our second break of the day. We are the Motor Mouse. Matt and Jeff. Phone lines are open. 543-8830. We'll be back.
We got a classic commercial going back to 1961 for the Ford Galaxy. Big car. I had one, actually. It was a 64, though, but I love that car. But this is the 1961 Ford Galaxy.
Hey, I'm going to go in about
The Rome of high fashion. Tonight provides a background for a special showing of the latest creations of Italy's top fashion designers. Sharing the spotlight is the 1961 Ford, honored for its classic styling by the international fashion authority, the Centro per l'Alta Moda Italiana. Observe how every detail beautifully expresses the classic Ford look. How the sparkling sweep of the new rear deck is boldly punctuated by the big circle tail lights. Now, the serene beauty of the Villa Borghese Gardens sets the scene for another Ford fashion first. The cool, clean profile of the 61 Galaxy. Its distinctive Thunderbird roof marks it as unmistakably, absolutely Ford. As does the straight classic line of the front fender and the crisp, fresh front-end design. Amid the enchanting fountains of Villa d'Este, Ford presents its newest top-down creation, the 1961 Sunliner, a new classic among convertibles. This is the Rome of high fashion, the Rome of the 1961 Ford, beautifully built to take care of itself, beautifully proportioned to the classic Ford look. The 61 Ford is on display in your Ford dealer showroom now.
When it's time to service your car,
Or a warning light is starting to glow.
go see the pros at Absolute Auto.
At the corner of Sacramento and Capitolio.
Having a problem with the brakes or the steering down below?
Or an alignment to adjust the tow.
Computer systems, they do know.
Call 543-8737 to reach Absolute Auto.
Your car's fuel economy was never better than when it was new. But time and miles have robbed your car of its MPG and performance. Service managers recommend BG44K to remove carbon and restore mileage in just one tank of fuel. In fact, dealerships nationwide use BG44K almost 3-to-1 over any other product. To find a shop with BG products, go to bgfindashop.com.
BG. Can you imagine selling your car next week and saying to the buyer, hey, don't worry, because the engine is covered against failure for life. It's called the Lifetime Protection Plan for the Engine from BG Products. Now imagine having this huge benefit free with your next oil service when you remember these two letters, BG. BGMOA is available at over 20,000 shops nationwide. Find yours at bgfindashop.com. That's bgfindashop.com.
Hi, this is Jeff Spevack, Motormouth co-host and owner of Continental Motor Works. What can you expect here at Continental? We will treat you and your car with care and respect and gratitude. We will bend over backwards to earn your trust. You will fully understand what we are doing on your car and know how much it will cost before we do the work. You will always get value, a fair exchange. You work hard for your money. We believe we should work smarter and harder for what you pay us for. Now in our 36th year, we fix it all. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and hybrids.
Call Jeff at Continental Motor Works at 541-1464. Mention this ad and receive 10% off labor.
Little GTO, you really looking fine.
And we're back to the girl, the music and the hot cars. So Jeff took off. So I'm here by myself now. But anyway, we have some time. We got them another 15 minutes.
No, about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
So you have time for a call. If you want to talk to Matt only. So, but that's okay. We can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
and we got the pet peeves going on too.
We still got the pet peeves going on. But let me talk, since nobody's calling about that yet, let me talk a little bit about the schools. You know, Cuesta College and Allen Hancock College in Santa Maria. If you are a high school student, I can't talk to high school students because they aren't up yet in the morning. I have to talk to the parents or the grandparents. Well, no, I'm going to talk about that anymore now. But I'll get back to it. But we're going to talk to Jerry.
We got Terry from Oregon.
Terry. Okay, Terry. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Fine.
I got a pet peeve.
Yes.
It's these people that call your show that tells you about the vehicle code laws and they don't know what they're talking about. I just listened to that last guy. I'm a retired law enforcement officer.
Okay.
I'm looking at the vehicle code right now. He mentioned about emergency vehicles. There's nothing to say you stop, you just pull over and yield.
Yeah.
I'm looking right now in the vehicle code under section 21806A.
Okay.
It says every driver shall yield the right-of-way and shall immediately drive to the right-hand edge or curb of the highway, clear the intersection, and therefore shall stop and remain stopped until the authorized vehicle have passed.
Okay.
That's right out of the vehicle code. That last guy says there's nothing says you have to stop.
Okay. Now, does it make any difference if you're on 2 or 4 lane road?
It don't say that in the vehicle code.
Doesn't say in the vehicle code. All right.
They say you shall stop and remain stopped till the vehicle safely passes.
Oh, okay.
But these guys, that's my pet peeve. These people that calls in, try to say these things. You don't have to stop, and vehicle clearly says you shall stop.
So he's probably still listening, so he learned something.
Okay, well,
I really appreciate your call. Thank you very much.
Okay,
bye. Yeah, well, that's what I've done, stop. The other thing you're going to stop for is the school buses.
Yeah.
If even on a 4-lane road, if the red lights are blinking, that fast lane stops too. So in case that some kid comes out of the school bus and passes in front of the school bus and across the street, you don't run over him. So anyway, but it's talking about the school. Cuesta College and Al Hancock now, from 4 high school students, are having they partly paid the tuition or helping with the tuition and so forth. So it doesn't cost anything to go to school. More, at least the first year or maybe the second year. So it behooves to send them to school and do as much of it as possible. If you're hard up for money, it is very inexpensive to do it. Now we got Jim from Paso. Hello, Jim.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Fine.
Calling about pet peeves and uneducated or what I call non-drivers.
Yeah.
They seem to make the slow down, put the brakes on, make the turn, and then turn the blinkers on.
I know.
If they turn the blinkers on at all. Yeah.
Exactly. And I kind of blame law enforcement for not, keeping an eye out for that kind of stuff, because it's just the same thing on the highways, rude, inconsiderate people.
Yes, I agree with you. That turn signals is the one thing that we've had the show now for a couple, 22, 23 years. And this is one thing we've been preaching about for the 23 years.
Well, I hate to say it.
I don't think they teach it in driver's ed, or they don't emphasize it enough, but it truly makes a large difference in what's happening on the highway if people, signal their intentions.
Exactly. This is a courtesy thing. Is it courtesy
exactly.
to tell people what you intend to do?
But nobody's courteous. Everybody's rude and inconsiderate these days. So there you have it.
Well, I hate to say it, but I've seen police cars not use their flashers too. So, yeah.
So, yeah. Well,
anyway, I'm off of my soapbox. You guys have a good day.
Hey, thank you for calling. Appreciate it. Yeah, well, I was coming back from Santa Maria the other day, and it's a pickup truck that wanted to go a little bit faster than the rest of the traffic, and he crawled up on the back of a car, and I was ready for him to. I bet you there wasn't more than 10 yards between him and a car in front of him, and they're doing about 75 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and I mean, if the guy with the front stepped on his brake because something was running across the road, it would be a rear-end collision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's going to have to take and think about that. We used to blink the light. Mm-hmm. If we want to pass somebody and you felt that he was holding you up, we used to take and blink the lights. They don't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But
cut them off.
Anyway, back to the school thing. Both Cuesta College and Al Hancock College has vocational education departments. Very good vocational education. Automotive, electrical, plumbing, building, and other things. And, you can go through college and get a good book education, but if you have another education to lean back on, that it's a vocational education, you can take it and do some repairs. If you happen to be a mechanic, you can get a good job any place in the country. You usually have your own tools, you put that in your car, and you can drive to any state in the United States and get a job. So, it's and something that is very important, and that is that you have instant gratification for what you do. You don't have to wait for it. You fix a car, you get gratified for doing that and doing a good job. There are other jobs where you never get gratification, and that is very important. Well, are we getting close enough to shut this thing off, or
no, just over 2 minutes?
Well, that's fine. Yeah. No more calls because we won't do that.
Yeah.
So then we'll just talk a little bit about the sponsors. And the sponsor, you heard us talk about the BG
40K
40K products.
Neither one of us can say it, and how long we've been doing the show now? BG 44K.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So Jeff, at Continental Motorworks, he uses that, and many of the other independent garages are using those products, and they are guaranteed, and they do do a good job, and therefore use them if you can find them outside of the, for example, the parts houses. I don't know if you can or not.
I think that's when you have to get at the parts house.
Then down here the street here on Capitolia Way, you have Continental Absolute Autotech. That he bought my business 10 years ago, and he also bought the alignment equipment I had, and of course I had the alignment equipment is for heavy duty trucks. I mean, we've done with 2 front wheels, concrete pumpers.
Got to move through it here, Matt. We're under a minute, so 58.50.
Oh my God, we're under a minute. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we got the slowbike.org.
Oh, we got the slow bikes too. Yes. Mm-hmm. So now still under a minute.
Just under a minute. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And then we got Continental Motorworks, and of course you hear about him. He has a very, very good add-on. The minute earlier he had a good add-on. So that's the people that is sponsoring this show, and Jeff and I, we do this for nothing because we like to.
Yeah.
And we like the callers, and we will want to thank the callers.
Now we're at 30 seconds here.
Now we're at 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So we got.
I think we got all the sponsors in. So BG44K, Absolute Autotech, Continental Motorworks, and slowbike.org.
Yeah. And then also the people that called in and made the show work.
Yeah. We had Roberta, Dennis, Don, and Jim. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And now we're at 10 seconds.
Then we got to close down. Okay, that'll be fine.
All right.
Okay, guys.
Have a good week, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.